In this video, we're going to be creating a sample where we will do 5/8 seam allowance, and then we're going to press it flat so it looks really nice and professional. So to get started, you're going to get 2 of the sample squares, and you will match them up on the edge, just like that. And I'm going to sew them at 5/8 seam allowance. When I look at the stitch plate, I can figure out where 5/8 is by looking for the little etched in 5/8. So it's going to be right here. So I will line up the edge of my 2 fabrics together, and I'll put the top of the fabric right around where the needle is so that I can start right at the top of my fabric. Lower my presser foot to make sure my threads are back behind everything, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew. So I'll sew forward 1, 2, 3 stitches, do my back stitching, 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then I will go forward. As I sew, I'm just going to make sure that the edge of my fabric is lining up with the 5/8 groove. So I'll just sew down, keep everything in line, stop right before the end, and I will back stitch 1, 2, 3, and forward. Then I can lift up my presser foot, and I'm going to trim my threads. Always want to trim threads. That makes things look so much neater and more professional, and makes it less of a mess when you're finished. So this is what the finished project looks like, and then I'm going to go ahead and press it open, because you can see right now it doesn't really lay flat. I could try and like finger press it, where you just press like this with your fingers, right? Just pinch it kind of. And that lays a little more flat, but I'm going to go to the ironing board to make sure that it's really nice and professionally pressed. So we've sewn our 5/8 seam allowance, and we've kind of finger pressed everything down. And now it's time to actually press everything so that this whole sample will lay really nice and flat. You can kind of see it's making an X right now. We want everything to be really flat. So how I'm going to do that is just by taking my ironing, like my iron right here, putting on my fabric on the ironing board, and then we're going to press, just pressing is an up and down motion. So we're just going to go kind of up and down a couple times, maybe flip it over and press it again. We don't want to drag it across like we would if we were ironing, because that might kind of make our fabric go off grain and make things not as nice like that. We don't want to do the ironing. You're just going to go up and down. And then after that, everything will lay nice and flat.